Hi everyone, it's Juris and welcome back to Tattoo Shop Talk. Today we are checking out Artfly by JCONLY. It's the thermal transfer machine, and as usual I'll do its ups, its downs, and by the end of the video you'll see if this is something that fits your needs. And a little note, brand did send me this product. They have not seen video beforehand, no money have exchanged hands. Yet, if you want to support channel a little bit, then use our affiliate links. That gives you a little discount and gives us also a little kickback. And if you do that, then thank you for supporting our channel. Price-wise, this comes in at $299 US, which is a little bit higher than the close competition. Now let's start with its ups. Out of the box, it feels very solid, very sturdy, very nicely built unit. It has on-off button, paper feed button, two buttons to open lid, and it's very satisfying, very tactile feel and very nice click. Boom, boom, boom. I can do this all day, just click it open and close because I like how it feels and how it sounds. Now let's switch it on, and it has pretty nice screen. It says ready and it shows a bunch of useful stuff. Battery charge, paper status, next one looks like it's how hot it is, and Bluetooth connection status, which is now at red. It charges with USB-C like most of the technology these days, and at the bottom here it also have a reset button, which is a nice touch. On some machines you can't do anything, on some units you have to know some weird combination of buttons. If something goes sideways, there is option to reset it. And the option that you can open lid is very welcome. So if you need to clean it or if paper jams, and when you open it up, the lid itself also feels pretty solid. It's this nice thick plastic. I mean, there is a bit of flex to it, but it's way sturdier than some models that we have looked at earlier. They also sent me some of their stencil paper. I have not used it on customers yet because I just don't want to have many boxes open with stencil papers. It fits the regular size, the size that they have, elite size, and for example spirit paper, which is tiny bit wider, also fits perfect, unlike on some machines where it's very tight fit, and then there is more chance when you print stencils it can start to like crumble up and mess up your stencil. So this is all good, fits all the regular sizes. Good news here. Technical things on printer: it has 2,500 milliamp battery, USB Bluetooth connection, 203 dpi, and it has app which is supported by Android and iOS devices. And now let's look into app experience. App is called Tattoo Printer. Let's open it up, let's play around with some things. I have a bunch of designs that I tried. Sometimes it gives me this little Bluetooth warning, which states that my iPad Pro Bluetooth version was lower than 5.0, but it still worked fine. When you open it up, there is some weird things. At the top you can see there's driver installation tutorial. There is a little Procreate logo and then arrow to Tattoo Printer app, which is meant that you can use this app directly from Procreate. So from Procreate you open the app and then print your stencils. While on here it shows Procreate logo, but underneath it says Pocket, which I think is a hiccup. I think it should say Procreate. When you open the app, it shows this local screen. Then first one is history, where it shows all what you've been printed before. Then it's like a hot, where you can see all sorts of AI generated pre-made examples. Some of it looks pretty decent, some of it it's very AI generated. There's selected, skulls, flower arm, animal, totems, characters, and comic thing. That's if you want to try different line weights and see what they have and what works for you best. Or maybe that's something that you dig and you have your designs that were sent with printer. Once you open your desired image up, it's already flipped, which is a very welcome feature, and like my colleague said, it's sort of a foolproof feature. If you are used to flipping it, it would be cool if that would be sort of setting where you can click it so it automatically flips. You can use it or you don't. Obviously you can flip image later, but that's one step less that you have to remember, especially if you're new to this device. There's foolproof option that it flips image automatically, so auto flip feature is very welcome. There at the first page you can see your printer. You can connect or disconnect it. Boom, connected. Then there's your profile. You can check your device status, the firmware upgrade, paper status, power, language, current version. There's customer service, so all the usual stuff. Go to material. Then there is this button at the top, which I don't know what it is. You can scan some sort of QR code. I haven't figured that out. Once you open your image up, you can resize it. You can resize it by sort of dragging there on a corner, or you can just use pinch 2 fingers and adjust it that way. You can also rotate it, and you can close image to open new one. At the top right corner you have this ruler, then you press it, it changes from inches to centimeters. I'm located in Europe, I don't understand inches, I use centimeters. You can also press on size adjustment and then you can punch in manually all sorts of numbers if it's something that you like. You can lock aspect ratio or unlock it. Let's close that one by pressing little X. Next step is line art, and you have a bunch of useful filters there. You have to select picture for it to work, otherwise it will show you please select the picture. Boom, click on picture, press line art, and there's a bunch of filters depending on source image. For example, this is just line work, you don't see much difference, but you can play around and see what options are there. If your source image is something a bit more realistic, press OK. Let's close this image. Let's get back to pictures. Let's get this order. At the top you can also choose sheet or roll of stencil paper, and there's option to select different sizes. I just keep at the first one that is there and it works fine. Now let's see what filters does. Here it gives all these weird options, which some of them are more useful, some of them are less useful. Again, depending on the source image and the desired result, you have a bunch of options here. I'll work with this little skeleton that my son drew that I have tattooed on inside of my arm. See, line art, boom. So some options are there. Next is cut equally, and that gives you options you can do by total height or width or by equal numbers, and you can adjust rows. If you're printing larger designs, then you have that option here. Adjust one sheet, other parts will be adjusted automatically. I'm not sure how it works entirely. Okay, so it did split image. It's a bit tricky, don't take my word on it, somebody else will have a tutorial on this part. Then let's go into beauty, and there you have parameter as usual, grayscale, sharpen, contrast, saturation, all that stuff that you can adjust. Beauty, filter, and again a bunch of different filters that you can play with. Depending on your source image, it gives you different options. Let's try this classic piece, beauty, saturation, boom, black and white, grayscale, not sure what it means. It darkens it up or lightens it up. Saturation, boom, beauty, filter, and you can see again, you can play around with different filters. Outline, brighten, vibrance, gamma, and whatnot. In a beauty section, there's also a filter for lines, which makes your lines thinner or thicker, which can be useful at some point. If you made your stencil too thin or too thick, you can play around with these filters and see what it does. Also a very useful thing. Press OK. Further down, cutout. Cutout removes background. Try this one. Cutout, boom, and you have just the image without background, which is pretty cool. Next section is a funky one. It's 3D. I understand some parts, I don't know how to size them and what it's really meant to be. Let's press on 3D, and here you can place your design on a body part. You have this 3D body and these open mesh of 3D shapes, and you can move it around. You can place it on different body parts, and it shows where on a body part it is. You can move it here to the back. Boom, that would be front, that would be back. There you go. You can resize it. Bada beam, bada boom. Where is it? There you go. And then if you press 3D scene, I don't know how it works exactly. Let's press 3D scene, and then you can turn this guy around. Controls are a bit all over the place. Sometimes you put it on some body part and it just looks weird. Let's go AR scene. And this was a bit wild. I can't find it anywhere now, but this part is that I really don't understand. In here you can also try different skin types, from really dark to just a white plain model. Cool option. How to imply it in a stencil. I'm not sure if it's meant to be for stencil or just to imagine how it works. The option is there. Then you have crop option. Please select picture. We tap on a picture and you can crop it if a need be. There's all sorts of stuff, rotations, aspect ratios, undo, again rotate that way, that way. Next step would be rotate and invert. Boom. So if you need to flip it, the option is there, but it's also auto flipped from the beginning. And rotation tool, boom, boom, boom. As you can see, sometimes you need to tap on a picture again, but let's close this part. Then you can copy image. You can add another image if you want to. Let's add this guy. So now we have both pictures inside each other. Let's see if I can cut out. Boom, perfect. So we can place this little skeleton guy somewhere on here. And then let's select other picture and let's go into line art. And we have two pictures in one. You can also save your piece, which would be a very nice option if there would be autosave, because sometimes you do all the edits, then you press one button like back or something wrong and your all edits are gone. So it's not autosave. I think it can also mess it up, so maybe you just have to be careful with what you're doing. In my imagination, some autosave would be good if it saves as a separate file or separate option within app. So there is save button and last drawing board, so you can draw extra on your stencil if you want to add something. There's eraser, undo button, redo button, boom. You can delete it, undo, undo. The last one is a bit weird one, but it might be useful if you have huge stencils and you need to map things out and add some notes. Pretty basic option, but you can edit, you can place text. Subscribe to Tattoo Shop Talk. Done. You can add notes to your stencil. We're done with this section. Then you go to print stencil, you press printer. Here we have options for print mode. It's standard mode and AI mode. AI mode I haven't used, I haven't figured it out. I use standard, and then there is also temperature settings, low, medium and high. If you have large pictures with a lot of black, maybe you don't want to use high, you want something like medium or low, or if you have run a bunch of stencils one after another, you want to check which setting you are on. But for the first print, for nothing too complex, I would go with high. And it also says, please remove the bottom yellow page and then print. Again, a little foolproof thing, which is very welcome. Shows that it's connected, battery is fine, everything is fine, and it shows red that there is no paper, and it says ready on the top of the screen. Let's feed paper in. To be safe, let's feed it a bit more. Boom, we can press this button and it feeds it more in. Let's print the design, which is a classic piece which everyone loves, with a little addition from my son and a text that we just tested out. Now it says printing on the top of the screen. That's the sound that it makes. Yet you can see here there's different types of lines and really small text, and the stencil is just fine. There you go. You can see the classic piece, you can see my son's little creation and a little text. See on this camera, maybe it shows better. As you can see, the print quality itself is pretty crisp, and it's on the pretty light paper. It's JCONLY stencil paper. Still crisp, consistent, and the feed is smooth and no jamming, no issues so far. A little hiccup that I discovered when I was filming this video: if you are trying to send pictures from Procreate to Tattoo Printer app and they're not showing up, I'll show you example. Open Procreate, you go to Share, JPEG, and you find Printer app. You go to that, and nothing happens, it's still previous image. The issue is that it's you trying to send JPEGs, while you have to send is share PNG. There you go. And then we find app. When you use it first time, it will ask for permissions. Give all the permissions. Find the app, Tattoo Printer, and there you go. It opens it up. So if you have that issue, it might be just because you're sending wrong type of a file. Now downsides, the only downside I can think of, if you compare it to same type of stencil printers that we have looked at before, this one is a bit bulkier. I'm happy to sacrifice the size for its sturdiness and a solid feel, so it's kind of downside, but not really weight-wise. They weight, like in a hand, they feel pretty similar. So this is just a bit bulkier look, a bit bulkier size, but not by much. I would say some centimeter in width, and that's about it. And that would be it. That's my take on JCONLY Artfly tattoo stencil printer. If you consider buying one, then check our affiliate links. That will give you a little discount and will give us a little kickback as well. And if you do that, then thank you very much, because that helps us to do what we do here. A little help, a little support to our channel. Now you let me know, what do you think about this tattoo stencil printer? Who this might be an ideal solution? Where do you see it's useful the most? Would you use it in your studio, or you prefer different type of stencil printers? And of course, do all the YouTube stuff. Press like to the video, check our playlist in video description. If you have anything to say, then leave that in the comment section. And if you have nothing to say, then leave a cheerful comment, just for the gods of algorithm, to help to boost our channel a tiny bit. Thank you for watching. See you in the future episodes. Stay safe. Bye.